been a couple days now, but just how's Utah, I guess?
Oh, it's been great. It was kind of a roundabout, long journey for me to get here, but it's been fantastic. I felt incredibly welcomed and well received from my team, the staff, and the city.
You and Sam did a special kind of fan event at the RSL game on Saturday. Just what was, sort of building on that, I guess, just what was kind of the turnout? What was the welcome like to see all the people coming up? And I saw a lot of Royals jerseys at an RSL game, which is maybe a little bit different, I don't know, from some markets. So just how was that?
Yeah, it was really exciting. I think that you could tell that the fans were excited. They were very welcoming. They continued to say, welcome to the family, welcome to the family. And I'm excited to be a part of that family and to really develop that relationship with the fans. I think I've never played in a city where every week you come out and you see the same fans and there's a ton of them and you play for your fans. I think that that's a unique thing, and it's really special in women's soccer. There's not that many cities that have the fan base that's here in Salt Lake City, so I'm excited.
Christen, could you just walk us through what the last couple of weeks have been like for you, making this transition, coming back from Sweden?
Yeah, they've been crazy. So I was actually in Salt Lake for national team camp, then I went to Cleveland, then I went back to Sweden, played in one game, was traded, and then 2 days later flew back. So it's been a lot of travel, and actually not that many games. So it's just a lot of travel, but it's been hectic and crazy, and I think that it's all going to be worth it. That's what I'm hoping.
What have the first 2 days of training been like with your new team?
Well, this was my second day of full team training, so it's been good. The girls had a game on Saturday, so they're kind of in a recovery, just kind of try to get ready for the game mode. And Sam and I are in a different kind of part of our training where we're trying to get integrated, trying to get acclimated to the weather. So it's been a little bit all over the place, and that to me is very normal for the NWSL. It's very hectic. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of craziness, a lot of travel. So I think this is all a part of it.
Are you ready to go for tomorrow?
Ready to go.
You ready to play when your number's called?
Ready to play.
What you talked about, it's kind of been a roundabout deal. What attracted to you to Utah a couple months ago? I mean, kind of when the whole thing came up with Houston and so forth. What?
I think that I have been kind of searching for an environment that can help me get to the next level. And I thought that it was important for me to do my best to put myself in a position where I can be inspired and be taught and, you know, be around the right people and the right resources to take the next step in my career. And it's not as easy as it sounds, and I think it's worth fighting for, and I really do believe that Utah has those resources. They have the opportunity, they have the infrastructure to make my life exclusively about football, without the distractions, without anything else. You know, I'm here to play football, and I have what I need to do that medically. I have beautiful training field, so there's no excuses now. So now it's just me, it's kind of raw, and let's see how good I can become.
What was the Deloitte proposal deal? That's what everyone's calling it. What was that whole thing from your perspective when the national team came here a couple weeks ago?
Well, that was really fun. I met him for the first time after hearing fantastic things about him from the last 6 months or however long it's been, and finally got to meet him. Was very excited. First thing that happened was he got on his knee, and I don't even know what he said. The whole stadium was erupted in laughter, so I just laughed along, and he said he was excited at the prospect of me coming to play here, and of course I was excited at that prospect as well, and I really had no idea how close it was to being a reality. For me, you know, you hear a lot of rumors, so I just try to put them in the back of my head and keep focused on what I'm doing. But I had no idea that I would be here a week later.
That was kind of be one of my next is was it kind of from your perspective, it wasn't necessarily in the works at that point then, as far as you were aware?
No, I do my very best to be present, and all that I'm required to do is, you know, to play and be ready for the game. So at that point, I was thinking about our next game in Cleveland, and I was hearing rumors of trades, but I didn't have any idea what that looked like for me. And so I was just like, well, I have a game against China in 2 days. And then, when that game was over, I had a game in 3 days in Sweden. So there really was no time to emotionally wrap my mind around it until they said, hey, you've been traded and you're going to be there in 48 hours. Then that was the time that I had to actually process what had happened.
Did you have any say in that, or?
In my trade?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
But you feel good about the move?
I feel great about it. Yeah, I think, like I said, you don't have a lot of control over where you play in the American League. And so I feel very, very grateful and lucky that I ended up in a great place.
You've had a couple stints in Sweden. How has that contributed to your game?
Hugely. I always say that Gothenburg saved my career time and time and again, because it hasn't always been easy. It hasn't been just this dream story of success, and there have been pockets of time where I've started to doubt myself, to kind of lose my joy, and twice they have kind of re-given that back to me. And I think just the distance from everything, no one can even watch the games. You have to buy the stream. My family flying thousands of miles just to see me. You just went there to play football, and that's kind of the same way I feel here. It's just about the football, and that has helped me a lot. And when I'm living in that way, I think I'm allowed to thrive, if that makes sense.
How do you see you and A-Rod working together? I mean, I think we all think the two national teamers. How do you see that partnership?
I'm really excited to play with Amy. I have never spent significant time playing with her in a two-front or in any formation, actually. So we've played a lot in trainings with the national team, a few games here and there, but she's a player that I admire. I think her quality is so obvious. Just watch her for 5 minutes and you kind of know exactly how she operates. She's incredibly talented and dynamic, and so I think that those qualities could potentially partner very well with mine, and I hope that we can give defenders hell this season.
What about you? Do you think the things that you do will go well with her and pair well with her?
Yeah, I think we'll make a dynamic duo. A lot of runs, we're both able to come into the pocket, front and back lines face up. We both kind of have a similar way of off-ball movement, of manipulating defenders to free ourselves up, and so I think it'll just be a matter of learning each other and growing together and getting that chemistry.
Laura's been saying for a long time that she's wanted you on one of her teams. What are your thoughts on Laura and her coaching?
I've heard fantastic things about Laura from everyone I've spoken to. I think she's an incredibly well-respected coach in this league and internationally, so I'm excited. I think that she has a lot of knowledge that I'm looking forward to picking her brain on, just to learn about the game, to learn about my position, to learn about how to be better. And then on top of that, I think she couples it with an incredible passion. So the atmosphere in practice in the locker room, it's fun. Everyone's at ease. Everyone's kind of on the same page, enjoying their time, and that's not an environment that's easy to create. So that's kudos to her.
What do you like to do in your free time when you finally have some?
I like to be outdoors. I like to be at the beach. Hopefully I like to be at the mountains, go on walks. I like to be with my dogs. I do like nature, grounding, walking barefoot. I think that's important. That's part of my California youth. Spent a lot of days in the ocean, in the sand, so hopefully I will get to see that here. I've heard really wonderful things about being outside and the views in the mountains, so I'm excited to explore.
You adjusted to the altitude yet?
I don't know. I'll tell you after tomorrow. I think when I was here for camp, I didn't notice it as much because I kind of came in quickly, played, and left. But I definitely have been feeling it at night after training, but I've been fine during practice. So hopefully, as long as I'm able to do my job, do it well, I'm okay if I have to suffer a little bit after for a while.
It's a good suffering.
It's a good suffering, especially after a win. So.